Real quickly here as we finish this day off, I want to touch on, I don't know how many people have seen the book by Stephen Covey, 7 Habits, one of the best business books you can read. And in the beginning of that book, he tells an amazing story about a man who's on the subway on his way to work, or on the way home from work, I guess. And he's got his newspaper, he's trying to relax after a hard day. And all of a sudden, at a stop, a gentleman gets on with 2 kids. And the kids just start cutting up. And they get making more noise, and the guy that's reading the newspaper kind of glances at him like, shh, kind of behave. And the father is not correcting the kids at all. Then they start running around, getting louder and louder, start bumping into the man that's reading the newspaper, kind of knock his paper out of his hand, just really rambunctious. So finally the guy with the paper is just about to lose it. He's like, he keeps looking over the man like, you can control your kids. And this continues on, gets worse and worse, and finally they run into him again, and finally he just drops his paper and says, "Sir, can you please take care of your 2 boys here? We're on a subway." And the man who was standing there with his head down, sitting there with his head down the whole time, looks up at the gentleman with the paper and says, "I apologize very much, I'm sorry. We just buried their mother, and I'm just at a loss. I've lost everything, and I wasn't even paying attention." And at that moment, the man with the newspaper's whole perception changed. What he saw was 2 rowdy kids and a bad parent. All of a sudden, he felt so much guilt that he felt that way because he didn't know the real situation. So when you leave here today, for anything to change in Green Bay, we have to change the whole paradigm, the whole perception. I mean, it literally has to do an about-face. Probably the most amazing things I've heard today so far was Sue's that little comment, "No test, no testimony." I never heard that before, and I loved it. And the testimonies of these people right here. I mean, if you can't be moved by these guys right here and the stories they all just said, I mean, that's what this is all about. People saying, this could be my one chance. You got other people playing the lottery, but these people are putting it when it's not even in your hands. They're putting it in their hands saying, this could be my chance to take care of my mother, my family, or my needs, or whatever, my big break in life. It's in my control right now to do it. And what we try to do is the combination of the why is more important than anything, because the bigger the why, the less you'll give up. Lombardi, one of his greatest quotes is what? "Fatigue makes cowards of us all." And believe me, when I'm playing sports against my son, and he's in better shape than me, 19, just turned 20, and we're playing basketball, I can hang with him for a little while, and towards it gets the end, all I can think about is that quote, "Fatigue makes cowards of us all," and I'm getting ready to turn into a coward because I do not feel like playing anymore. And I know that if it goes long enough, he's going to beat me because I don't have anything left. And so in this business, it has to start, if your belief is strong enough, that keeps you going, persistence, till you get there. If that belief is weak, if that why is not big enough, you'll give up, okay? And what Green Bay is at right now, you have to recognize where you're at right now. The positive right here is we have so many different teams. When I look at Brad and Beth and Devontae and Mitch and Manny and all these different teams you have, Travis, and all the different teams you have now that you didn't have before. So you're a more diverse crowd, okay? But you're at that state, and probably Brian could probably speak on this better than I can. It's like you're joining boot camp first day, everybody's pumped. They want to lose to 20 pounds, 30 pounds, they're pumped. You're going to help me do it, I'm fired up. And then some of them give up pretty quick, but the ones that stay with it for a while, somewhere along the line, they're going to hit a plateau. Somewhere along the line, the muscles aren't coming as fast as they thought, the fat's not coming off as fast as they thought, they get on the scales, and maybe they even gain the pound that week, and that's when it sets in. That's where Brian, as a coach and as a trainer, has to sit there and say, it's working, changes are happening in your body, she's not showing up on the scale yet, but you can't give in now. This is a plateau, but you will break through this plateau if you continue to do what I tell you. Look at me, I'm your coach. You can see I'm in shape. You're going through a plateau. And they will either accept that and believe it and continue on, or they will give up. And where you're at right now in Green Bay is you're at that plateau. A little over a year ago, I said we came here and there was not much here. We set out an agenda and said, hey, what are you willing to do? Jeff, you're making $20, $40 a month. What are you willing to do? And Jeff hit diamond. Goes to the convention with Brian as a diamond leader. And he just hit diamond. We met Dr. Oz that day. He was all excited. He said, I'm a diamond now. Okay, y'all know what a diamond leader makes. Make about $400 or $500, $600 maybe a month. And then 1 year later, he's hit there as a presidential leader, making a couple $1,000s a week with Michelle, and they're going through all the plush stuff they give us, the spa days and all this stuff. And he's thinking, God, just 1 year ago, I was all excited about being a diamond leader. So to go from 20 cycles to over 300 cycles when he was there in Vegas in 1 year. Why? Because Green Bay got it focused. And all of a sudden, everybody started coming to the table. You had the Gajewski team starting to rock. You had the Sunseekers with Dan and you had Tom and you had Scott. You had all the people starting to rock, and it started everybody growing together. So now here, fast forward to where we're at today. And so part of the day is getting that dream back, getting that passion back. What do we want this? And number two is the skill sets to learn. Because, we talk about being ignorance on fire. Well, if you're ignorance on fire, it sounds good, but you're still ignorant, okay? You go to a club, and you see some lady say, hey, you're kind of fat and ugly, but I ain't got no one else to date. Would you like to go out? Chances are it's not going to work. Okay? And I know something about, I've had a time in my life for about a year, me and a friend used to go out in the clubs, and I called it a date or a donut, and it was like, either I'm going to get a date or I'm going to go home and eat donuts. And I swear I gained like 35 pounds in 4 months. Right? That shows you how that went for me. So the bottom line is, though, you can't just be ignorant on fire. You got to learn. So part of these 4 things right here, this is just a guideline. Would I use that if I'm Devontae talking to Deuce? I'm not going to call and say, hey, this is the reason for my call. Is a lot of you, because, and this may or may not be of interest to you now, sir. No. I'm saying, yo, man, you got to get here tonight, 7:30 tonight. Better than Drake concert tonight. Well, just come here tonight. There'll be some ladies that get here. Whatever to get him there, okay? And Deuce walks in, he sees Jeff and Scott. What are ladies? What are ladies? Well, I think Scott got fitted for women in bras one time with Sue, but that goes back a long time ago. But in any case, the bottom line is, when I was talking about friends, and I got my first 6 people in the beam in the first week, I didn't know anything about these 4 key phrases. I was just excited. I was just like, hey, Brad, listen, I got something. You got to see it. Come over to the house tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We're going to have a little get-together here. You got to see this. Well, what is it? Just come over, man. Just come over. I promise it'll be worth your time. And he came because, he trusted me. And all of you have people who have faith and believe in you. They should jump when you say jump. We should all have a few people like that in our life. Travis and Manny, Devontae, Deuce, all these guys, they're together. They trust each other. That kind of thing, right? And just like I said, when Mitch gets him in on a flyer, well, we would never recommend that, right? But what if Devontae becomes the biggest success story in FEMA? I promise you there'll be 1 billion flyers printed out next year, right? Everybody takes a flyer because everybody wants to copy success. So these 4 key phrases designed by Ruth Elliott, who not only makes about $2 million a year in this business, but she's been doing that for about 5 years. So it's not a flash in the pan 1-year success story. This is someone who's doing it just like Anthony Powell we talked about earlier. And these were the phrases that she used to invite people. And she would call us, like, let's say me and Brad went to school together, and I hadn't talked to him in a few months, and I come and say, hey, Brad, how you doing? Well, rather than just shoot the bull for 30 minutes, I said, they get right to the point. Hey, Brad, listen, the reason for my call is I discovered something incredible, and it's according to how I feel, but I might say, hey, have you ever heard about the incredible energy drink Verb? No, not familiar with that, because most people aren't. I said, well, I tell you what, the reason I call in is because I thought of you because I know you talked about earlier about wanting to make some extra money, or about wanting to be in business for yourself one day, or you needed to make some extra money, or looking for a full-time income. Well, this may or may not be for you, but would you be willing to take a look if I can get Sue on the phone and listen to a little 10-minute conversation about a lady who's literally making $8,000 a week on an energy drink, just by drinking it and promoting it? Would you be willing to listen to that? Yeah, I definitely. If I got to chase me, he said, well, I don't know if that, then he's not ready. Okay? But it can be that simple. But what it's going to come down to it, you can copy down these 4 key phrases, and you can find them back at RuthElliott.com, probably find them at BergUniversity.com as well. But what it comes down to, they mean nothing unless you use them. And that's the big part we want to get to, is how many times are you going to do it? Because if you don't take any action, then this day will be a waste for you. Nothing will change. You have to make that change. And for me, when I got involved in this business and got it to about $2,000 a week, I plateaued for a year because I was pretty comfortable. When Sue said, hey, make your dream list and whatever, I couldn't make a dream list. I was pretty happy. I was making great money in tanning, making an extra $100,000 doing this. So I was pretty happy. And then after plateauing for a year, I got kind of disgusted with myself. I saw other people growing. What you got to realize right now is a year ago, when Jeff was we talked about Jeff hitting presidential, and some of y'all hitting executive, and some of you hitting platinums, and all these ranks. Well, since then, diamond leaders have become star ambassador leaders. platinum leaders had become ambassador leaders. And here, we stopped. We got to a certain point, and we stopped. And there's no reason to stop. What changes is, how bad do you want it? Am I ready to put the game plan in action? And what causes incredible growth in a business like us, big business like this, is when you to get exponential growth, is when everybody joins together. You need the whole team to get that explosive growth. See, one person can make a good income, but it's when that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people get together, that's where you see the explosion. So, as far as the invitation, the reason for my call, this stuff is pretty simple. But the problem is, you got to do it. And if tomorrow you wake up and you go to sleep tomorrow night, or Monday night, let's say you go to sleep, and you did not call one person, it doesn't matter if you got the stuff down. It does you no good. Okay? If it just sits there. It's like we say, verb is worth nothing as long as it's in the can. When you open that can and drink it, now it's worth something. It's the same thing here. All this information is just information until you put it to work for you. And so I would challenge you here in Green Bay. We are 56 days away from our event in Virginia Beach.